What's up? It's me you're looking for.
Oh goodness.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to anybody who's watching this. This is going live and in color. I'm here with one of my lovely, doubly clients, Sonia. But if you know her other name, you don't need to know all that. So we decided to have a conversation this morning. She's been coming to me for a while, y'all. Even if I try to get rid of her, she still keep coming back.
And he's not trying to get rid of a loyal client, so
You said I'm not trying to get rid of.
you're not.
Sometimes, sometimes, not you, but um. So listen, I wanted to ask you a question, a couple of questions, if you don't mind, just to get a little feedback from you because you are a woman in business and in the corporate area. So my question for you is, how do you balance being a black woman in corporate America, um, in this day and time?
So when you say how do I balance being a black woman in corporate America,
Hmm.
e- exactly what are you referencing?
So I would say, what challenges do you, or what you have been through to get to the position where you're at now?
Um, First and foremost, um, in the logistics industry, it's always um, challenges as a woman. I've been in the industry now for um, I'm gonna tell my age by saying this,
It's okay though.
but
I think you could talk up
it's
to because they
been
can hear you because you know you strong.
it's been over um, 24 years that I
24 years.
started. Yes,
You
that I
look good.
started in logistics, um, and most would say like it's a happen chance, but I know that it was God's plan because I had no plan of ever having um, anything to do with logistics, trucking and warehousing and things of that nature. So I started um, with a company, a 3PL, as a IT coordinator. I was supposed to have been resetting passwords for this company, and just in going out to the floor and resetting passwords and things, I, being me and my OCD and wanting to keep things clean and organized, would always question the supervisors and why things were not, in my eye, properly aligned.
Okay.
Um, with that, the facility manager asked me, did I want to be the supervisor for the facility? So, fast forwarding to current. So I started out as a supervisor for an account and then transitioned because that particular account moved to New York at the time of 9/11. So I went to another account under that same 3PL.
You weren't moving to New York.
No, that was not going to happen for me. I had young children at the time. I had no um, desire to move them into that kind of an environment. So I declined that move and just moved to another account under that same 3PL, which is the company that I currently work for, which was my customer for 10 years prior to me relocating to take the position with this company that I've been with for 12 years now.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Again, I come from a background in IT with certifications, and I don't have a degree in logistics. There's no such thing. There's logistics, and then there's supply chain. There's degrees for supply chain management, but there's no degree programs for logistics.
So would you
So,
say that you had to not only learn the SOPs for this position, well, going through the transition from IT to this, but also understand the value of how this shift is going to happen and how I'm going to navigate through it?
oh, of course. So I I had great mentorships throughout the years. The manager that hired me onto the account um, actually told me that, it's not something that I don't think you can do. That's why I was afforded the opportunity. With her toolage and training and knowledge, it helped me to be the supervisor in that position, and eventually moved me into coordination for the transportation and things. And at that time of my transition to work directly for the company, I was in logistics coordination. So transitioning, I came into the company as a logistics coordinator. Some things happened with the company, and the transportation manager um, left. And because I had the knowledge, um, I actually told the company that I wasn't going to train someone else to come in and do the job. So if they didn't promote me to be the transportation manager, that they would have to train someone to do specifics to the company that I work for. Um,
So you say you put your foot down and demanded what you want.
so in layman's terms, I guess you could say I put my foot down, but you have to make sure that the people understand the knowledge that you have, especially working for certain companies. A lot of the knowledge is company specific.
Okay.
And if I'm good enough to train someone to come in and do the job, then I need to be afforded the opportunity to continue doing a job that I've been doing for 8 months that the transportation manager has been gone.
So that means you had to know your worth and your value as an
Of course.
individual.
And not having a degree, you know, that was one thing that they said, well, we're looking for someone with a degree. And I told them that that's fine, but they'll have the degree and still won't have the knowledge to come in and perform.
And do the things that you already know
And
how to do.
correct. And someone will have to train them to do so.
And you wasn't going to do it.
No, I was not.
And that speaks a lot of volume because I think sometimes we as people get a little scared of standing up for ourselves when it's in entrepreneurship or in corporate America when it's come down to setting the boundaries. Say, hey, I'm not going to train somebody on something that I already know how to do, and I should be compensated for that.
Of course.
Um, and that's really important, and I really applaud you in doing that because you knew your work, you knew where you came from, you knew what you needed to do, and you didn't do it based off of a money move. You did it. I feel like you did it based off of the level of experience and expertise that you had, and if they was going to pay anybody, it needed to be you.
Of course.
Um,
But you have to um, understand that your your job speaks for itself, and the company has to understand what you bring to the table, and then your managers and your colleagues and counterparts have to kind of speak up and make sure that the folks that don't know you directly or know
mhm.
what you do directly, they have to make sure that they understand the value that you bring to the organization on a whole, as opposed to just any mediocre job that may be being done within the organization.
So, what would you say? What are the top three things that this company has brought you, and what are the top three things that you have brought to the company?
Well, in regards to myself, my expertise, um, the fact that I'm going to make sure that the processes and procedures are being followed because that makes everyone's job a lot more easier to navigate throughout the day and to properly train and ensure that my staff can take things on and I'll be able to be out of the office, whether it's for vacation or business travel. And there's no stoppages within what me and my team have to do. We play a pretty big part in the day to day operations of the facility, managing the transportation, not only locally, but it's domestic and international. So the company it is a very good company to work for. They've afforded me the opportunities to be able to excel in the company without having that degree. Um, they offer any kind of training, and even they'll pay for me to go back to school, which I intend to do next year.
Okay,
Um,
congratulations.
with yet another promotion that I received a couple of months ago. So I've went from being a logistics coordinator to being a transportation manager to being a distribution center manager to now being the logistics manager, which manages both distribution centers and still managing the transportation portion of the business. So
And all that in how many years?
that's all been accomplished within the past 10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
I think people need to understand that they want quick results, but they don't want to put as much work you put in to doing this. Like in 10 years, you watch yourself grow through what? Four positions?
Yes, it's been four positions.
Four positions. And, a lot of people probably say, oh, I know that's a big salary increase. Even if it was, or even if it wasn't, it's still the experience that you have and the knowledge that you obtain while going through those four transitions. Um,
Well,
um,
of course, you want to be properly compensated for your efforts,
right. Now that is important.
but at the same time, it's the integrity that I have when it comes to doing my job. And I treat the company budgets as if it's my own home budget. I hold people accountable for their actions. For every action, there's a reaction. We need to make sure that all of the processes and procedures are being followed properly. And if not, then there of course will be some reactions to that not happening. You're only as good as the staff that you have, right? So
Right.
I wouldn't be able to perform at the level of expectation if I didn't have the proper staff to do so.
Okay. So, mentally, outside of work, how do you, how would you categorize like your mental health and your mental stability to be able to sustain something that you're doing in work and outside of work? Because sometimes I understand in corporate America that, sometimes you have to take your work home and you have to do a lot of stuff home and try to balance out. They never teach you balance when you first begin a job like that. Um,
So you know, we did a startup, and I was part of that startup. So with any company, especially uh, uh, the as the company that I work for, it's a nationally known company. So
so it's a Fortune
it's a
500.
fort correct,
Okay,
and
just want to make sure.
we um we all everyone that started out at that time, we were all in the mode of just getting this startup and making sure everything was consistent process flows for obviously our customers to be satisfied with the product. I wouldn't sit here and tell you that there has been there has always been a work and home life balance because it has not. But with COVID, things really got to be a lot more stressful than it was even prior with the initial startup. So we were working from home during COVID. We all had the option, but some of us didn't want to be in at home working, so
Right.
a lot of us chose to go back into the office. Um, Prior to the beginning of the beginning of 2024, I didn't have any home life balance. I left work and I went home and I was still working. Was that the expectation of the company? No. I wouldn't say that that was the expectation of the company because my company advocates for us to have home life balance. They give us all the tools that we need to be able to navigate through that, including counseling and things of that nature, whatever we need. Um, it took my doctor at that annual visit, the end of 2023, to tell me that I needed to start working on a home life balance. So, fortunately, because it's not a high demand from my company, I was able to take myself into that transition because it was impacting my health. And that was the thing that made me make that change. If the doctor wouldn't have told me that I was going to have to be put on medication for certain things, if I didn't make that change, I probably wouldn't have.
Mm.
Because that's just how I am. I want to make sure that everything is okay all the time. And I had the staff that did a great job. So that was my personality. That's who I am. So I had to dial myself back.
Do you think sometimes we get addicted to that hustle and bustle because we don't
I think you,
necessarily like to
as an
sit?
entrepreneur, you definitely know the answer to that question because I don't work for myself. I work for a corporate. I'm working in corporate America, and I feel that way. So, yes, but at the same time, you have to try to and I could balance things out where I could still be with family and everything in the midst of all of it. But it's totally different when I made the decision to put that work life balance separation there because my time is much more enjoyable when I'm with my family now because I'm not monitoring my laptop. I
Mm-hmm.
can just go and monitor my cell phone. But I would put myself in a situation where I wouldn't be able to do much of anything because during business hours, I would be in the possession of my laptop,
Mm. Glued to it. And
glued to it.
and I see that a lot that we get glued to these devices, especially corporate and entrepreneurship, because we always hustle and bustle of trying to do the next thing, trying to make sure everything is perfect. And I realized for me that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And there are certain things that we can control, and there's certain things that we can't control.
So, in being an entrepreneur, you're correct. For one, the statement you made is correct. But being in a position that I've been in for the past 8 7 8 years, my it's detrimental to the company.
Right.
It's that one thing that I may miss or not see that can have significant impact to production and things of that nature. So
That's a lot of weight on you.
I had to make sure that I was in the know and able to react immediately,
Hmm.
But again, it's a matter of having staff that's trained and can take care of things and know that if it's something that comes up and they can't get through it, to just give me a call for my assistance as opposed to me feeling like I have to do it all the time.
So would you say you'll be able to, God forbid, if you left this company, me or not, and started your own, um, your own company? Do you think with the knowledge and everything that you have based on the what you got from the Fortune 500 company, could you run a successful um, entrepreneur business?
Definitely.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this: I have children that are entrepreneurs, and I'll tell you the same thing that I told them. I'm not sure where they got that spirit from because I don't have it.
Wait a minute. You threw me off. Oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Y'all,
I
she acts up really bad. She
I don't have an entrepreneurial spirit.
mm-hmm.
I need consistency. I need to know what's coming. I can't be in a situation where I say, okay, I'm gonna have 10, which means that's gonna be $5,000 on the 15.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, because if two fall out, my anxiety is going into
Ooh,
overdrive.
honey, and this done happened to me.
So
That done happened to me,
yeah,
and it's not a good feeling. Literally, it
yeah,
happened to me. What
because
today?
I know you all plan for what's booked.
Yeah.
And if you have two fallouts, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Because you didn't give me 24 or 48-hour notice to plan for replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm $1,000 short. You know?
And it happens very lucrative in the service-based business. I promise you,
Correct.
we go through that so much now. I don't think I'm glad that you said that and you see it from a customer
I
standpoint.
mean, I'm a customer and I'm loyal to anyone that provides me a service. And I
The
know
proper service.
the keyword proper service. I know that in order for me to get the quality service that I want, that requires consistency, and I need to be loyal to you, and receive that same loyalty. So if I see where my appointment is on my calendar because it's consistent, so if I know that there's going to be an issue, the least I could do is give you as much notice as possible so that you can plan to fill that slot if you can, so
Right.
that you're not missing out on what you've planned for.
Right. And I tell people nowadays, I think I was talking to another client. I was telling her, this year right here, it's been a hard year because I had the most cancellations this year, and I had the most unconsiderate people that I had dealt with this year. It kind of made me realize, like, listen, I don't have to do this. Because I have a degree,
Correct.
I can go back,
Hmm.
and based on the level of experience, I can start off at a job at 6 figures with no problem. Now, now, is that necessarily something that I would want to do? No, but I always believe that you should always have a
You
plan
should
B.
have options.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
You have options of what you want to do, where you want to
And
be.
options that you can obtain, not based on what somebody else may or may not be able to do.
Right, and that's so important. I think everybody gets in that rat race of, oh, I'm like this, so I know I deserve the money. You don't deserve anything. You earn it,
Hmm.
and it's given to you. Stop thinking you're entitled to so much things, because honestly, only thing you're entitled to is getting up in the morning. And first of all, you ain't
I was
entitled to
about
that.
to say, you're not
Tied,
entitled to that. That's a blessing.
that's a blessing. So yeah, some people think they're entitled. Oh, because I'm this person, I'm that person. But no, you're a regular smuggler person. You use the bathroom like everybody else.
Hmm.
You eat like everybody else.
If it's a standard that you want somebody else to put you at, you have to be able to hold yourself to it, with or without that person.
Right.
There shouldn't be an expectation that someone else is going to be providing your lifestyle.
And that's creating healthy boundaries.
It's a situation where we complement each other and we help each other, as opposed to what exactly you gonna give me because I ain't giving you anything.
Right.
That's not fair to whoever you intend on having a relationship with.
You know what? I received that. So, before we end this, because I think we done had a really great conversation, can you leave me and my viewers a very inspirational message that you wish somebody would have gave you when you started all these years ago? You look good. Y'all, I know y'all
Well,
can't really
thank you.
see because it's light right here because you on the camera. But baby girl is snatched, okay, naturally.
Cut it out. Jaquad, I'm gonna tell you that what I've been telling you for years. Just, and I guess it's telling my age again, because you are my South Carolina baby. You need to you need to always focus on the priorities in your life. Make you your priority, and then everything else will come. And just keep God first. Give him praise for everything, every little thing, because it's the little things that turn into the bigger things. I went into, like I said, this job many years ago with the expectation that I was going to be working in logistics and I was going to find something else in IT and I was leaving logistics. But God had a plan on my life, you know. And right now I'm walking in that purpose and living out his plan. And that's what I'll do until he decided to call me home to where I'm rightfully belonging. So
I received that. And y'all, hope y'all enjoy this little segment. We got to talk to my beautiful client, Cyan. She talked about her journey in her Fortune 500 company that she worked for. Yes, we're not going to give you the name of the company. You don't need to know that. But guess what? It's doing her justice.
oh, it's doing me great.
Great. See?
It's doing me
Okay?
great.
So that should let you know. You put in the work, you get the results, and you can blossom from there. Manage your money well, manage the business
Very
well.
important.
Keep your faith, and just do what you need to do because you are unstoppable. And if nobody didn't tell you this today, I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. I love you, and we hope that we was able to inspire you today. And until then,
Happy holidays to Jaquad followers.